I'm sending you a specialization supply drop. There's no pulling out. Keep fighting. A specialization supply drop has been reached.
An agent needs assistance.
You don't have many reinforcements left.
Agent down. The enemy is acquiring a boost. The boost has been taken by the enemy. Boost online.
He's garbage. Take him out.
An agent needs assistance.
He's dead. Where they at? Tell me where they at. They all gone. That's 4.
Down.
Supply drop is being claimed by the enemy. Specialization supply drop has fallen into enemy hands.
An agent needs assistance.
You're halfway through the fight.
Boost about to come online. Boost now active. Agent down.
Doom here with another Division 2 build video. Now this is going to be my first build back, so welcome back to the channel, you guys. I am glad to see everyone come back in such a strong fashion. I've been teasing this for a couple days now, and I think I got enough little one-hit clips to satisfy the masses. So this is going to be my one-hit skills build, because both of my skills are one-hit kills. It's pretty self-explanatory. I showed you guys with those little clips. This is a lot of fun. It takes a certain play style for you to be able to pull this off, and most definitely it relies on what kind of team you are playing with. This is not for the solo players. This is not for the people that want to try to have max, sustainability This is to do one thing and one thing only, and that is to one-hit your opponent. Both of these skills are one-hits. So, with all that said and done, I am Kamikazevondoom. Shout out to the DoD. If you guys enjoy this in any way, shape, or form, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you have questions for me in the comment section below, let me know. And if you are new to this channel and you do subscribe, make sure you hit that notification bell. That way you get notified each and every time I bring you guys another Division 2 video. But alright, let's get into this. This is not going to be a normal build for you guys. This is actually quite a crazy build, but I really enjoy it. So let's start out with the specialization. The specialization I use is the Demolitionist. For multiple reasons, but this is also an explosive damage build. So with that being said, my just look at it right there. My grenade launcher does 1.375 million damage. I mean, it can't get much better than that, right? Well, it actually can. So I'm using the Demolitionist. This thing is retarded. I love it. And let's get into the weapons. So for my primary, I'm using the Eagle Bearer. Main reason is it has great accuracy, great base damage, and it's still a great weapon to use overall. For those people that don't necessarily get one hit by the skills, you hit them once with this M1A and they're pretty much toast. And then for my sidearm, I use the double barrel sawed-off. Again, if they try to roll out of the skill or something and the skill doesn't hit them fully, you can, hit them once with this and it's pretty much a game over. So actually getting into my secondary, this is actually pretty important. I use the M1A a lot with this build because while the Seekers or while the turret is hitting them, you can look down the scope with this weapon and pretty much pick them off. Going into the actual mods, I made this to be as as laser beam as possible. So I chose the RDS scope for that more stability. I went with the angled grip for even more stability. And then for the magazine, I just put, the tightly packed mag just for a little bit more rounds in my magazine. Now, the steady-handed, I don't really care for, but I do have extra and stop, drop, and roll. Again, this really doesn't matter. What does matter is just hitting them those 1 or 2 times, either before or after the skill, because, you have those 500, 600k armor people, and trust me, this thing will still destroy them. I believe one of those clips that I showed you guys before, it was a high damage or a high armor bloodsucker build, and what he did is he just face tanked my Seeker, but when you saw, he rolled out and I shot him once with the M1A and it was over. So just keep that in mind. Yeah, you can out-tank skills, you can roll out of skills, you can survive against skill builds. However, this thing packs a huge punch. Now for the actual gear itself, this is a 4-4-15 build. It's quite lovely, I must say. Make sure that you hit that 3000 skill power for both your skills, that way you can utilize your mods, and the rest of it is just plug and play. Now I am using 2 ongoing directive, I am using 2 hardwired, BTSU gloves, and China Light mask. Now just a quick little reason why the talents on the BTSU make it insanely OP once I get that initial hit and they're charged. Oh man, it's amazing. I use the 2 ongoing directive because I'm using a legacy chess piece. I'll explain that here in a second. And also I get the bleed damage from the ongoing directive. The bleed is a huge player when you're using the Seekers, because if they don't die from the initial blast, you can definitely take them out if you have a high enough bleed damage. Now the ongoing directive, I'm using 2 of those right here for the skill power. And then obviously with the China Light Industries mask, I'm using that for the extra explosive damage because we are sitting right at 100% explosive damage. Now actually getting into these pieces, starting off with the mask, it is a China Light Industries mask. I have 2 yellows on it. So it came with skill power at 117, but then I threw as much skill haste on there as possible. So I have 32% skill haste. Now it came with insulated, so I do get a little bit hazard protection, which is really nice when running skills. And then of course with the China Light Industries brand set bonus, like I said earlier, you do get that 10% explosive damage. Looking at the ongoing directive backpack, first off, the gear set bonuses, I'm running 2 out of the 6, so I do get the 25% bleed damage. For the attributes, I have rainbow, which is 1 red, 1 blue, 1 yellow. I rolled 10.5 weapon damage. It came with 334 skill power and also 18,560 health. The main reason I use this is because it comes with the talent destructive, so I get another 40% explosive damage. And then it does have a red and a yellow mod slot, so I chose weapon damage, AR damage. And then for the yellow mod slot, I threw on there explosive damage, the highest I could. Right here, it's at 4%. Going into the gloves, these are the BTSU exotic gloves. Now, the part that's really cool about this is the energy infusion. So whenever you apply a status effect, your gloves become infused with that effect for 60 seconds. So while infused, you get the skill damage, you get skill healing, repair, and also skill duration. And that's 10% per yellow. I have 15 yellows. So that's 150%. Now, applying the same status effect while infused does not refresh them. So you actually have to go through the whole 60 seconds and then you can proc them again. Now, the really cool part about this is it also comes with 2 yellow and a blue mod slot. So for that, I threw bleed damage at 3.5. I threw on there a turret damage mod to get my turret damage above that 3,000 cap. And then for the blue, I chose armor, explosive resistance, and total armor. Now, I said there was a legacy chess piece. This is a ongoing directive legacy chess piece. The reason why this is a legacy chess piece, and I will keep saying legacy chess piece, because they do not come with this anymore. This ongoing directive chess piece has explosives damage as an attribute. So I have 11.5 explosive damage as an attribute. It also comes with skill power at 397, and then I rolled on there some weapon damage at 12. But the biggest reason why I'm using this is because it comes with 11.5% explosives damage. Huge. Now the chess piece also comes with a red, blue, and yellow mod slot. So I threw on there weapon damage, AR damage, armor, total armor, and then I threw on there as much explosive damage as possible. For this one, 4.5%. Now, going to the holster, this is a hardwired holster. Now, the hardwired gear set bonuses, I have 2 out of the 6, so I'm getting the skill power at 20%. And then it also comes with 2 yellows and 2 yellow mod slots. So I have skill power at 525, skill haste at 48%, and then for the 2 yellow mods, I chose as much explosive damage for one at 4%, and then for the other one, I chose a seeker and turret mod because I am using seekers and turrets. And finally, the knee pads, hardwired knee pads. This one comes with a yellow, skill power at 394. I haven't rolled anything, it's pretty nice where it's sitting. And then it also comes with a yellow and a blue mod slot. So I threw on there a Seeker Mine mod, and then for the blue I chose more armor and total armor. Because you are really squishy for the PvP aspect of it. You are only at 221k armor. However, with the amount of yellows and the amount of damage you're doing with the skill power, it is insane. All you have to do is sit back, use your M1A, use your Eagle Bearer, whatever, and then just watch these skills go to work. Now this entire build video is all about these skills, so let's talk about them. Starting off with my explosive Seeker Mine. Holy bejesus. Look at that damage. So this one is sitting at 1.43 million damage. For PvP damage, it's sitting at 314,882. It has a cooldown of 26 seconds and a blast radius of 5 meters. This thing causes a bleed effect. I also have bleed damage, and I have explosive damage. So those numbers are not even calculated into this. So once you get hit by that Seeker Mine, you get hit by that extra explosive damage, and once it causes that bleed effect, all that bleed damage I have on this build goes into effect immediately as well. This thing will destroy. Now, just in case you don't think that's enough, hey Kami, that's not enough for a one hit. Well, look at this turret right here. This is my artillery turret, or the mortars turret. This thing will also one hit people. Now, this damage is only at 495k. However, the PvP damage is a little higher than the Seeker Mine at 223k. Now that's without the explosive damage, and also the mortars cause bleed, which I also have bleed damage. So whether they get hit by the Seeker or the mortars, they're getting hit by all that explosive damage, and they're getting hit with all the bleed damage. So you could still ramp up all that hazard protection you want. It's still not going to save you from the explosion. And if you don't have hazard protection on, then you're not going to survive the bleed. So it's like either way, you're going to get one hit. It's quite an amazing sight. So these are the two mods that I use. So I have the Seeker Mine mod, and then I also use the artillery turret. Going for the actual mods themselves, let's look at these. So for the RDX pellet payload, I have damage at 97.7%. For the delivery system mod slot, I'm only at 77.6% damage. And then for the ball bearing mod slot, I am at 97.6% damage. So yes, I probably could find a delivery system mod and get my damage up even higher, but for right now, this thing is quite amazing. For the turret, alright, so for the magnetic rail mod, I have 144% damage. For the ammo box, I chose mortar blast radius, so the radius is increased by 38.2%. And for the shade CPU V2, I have 147.2% damage. This thing, I'm telling you guys, if you didn't see the clips, rewind the video and watch the clips again, because this thing this thing does some damage, man, and it's amazing. Those are your two skills that you use for this build. You use the explosive Seeker Mine and you use the artillery turret. Both of them do insane amounts of damage. So let's finish up with the stats. So weapon stats, this is for the Eagle Bearer. I have 21,912 weapon damage, goes down to 15,064 for PvP. 10 chance, 40 damage, 55 headshot damage. For the offensive tab, I'm only looking at 50% damage bonus total. Not a lot, but it's better than most, and I'm using a skill build. Remember, I do have that health damage, but then look at the explosive damage. 99% 99% explosive damage. So take the Seeker Mine, take the artillery damage, and yeah, 99% explosive damage. And then let's see, go down to the defensive tab, looking at 221,913 armor, 45,615 health. For my hazard, I'm at 30%, and explosive resistance 3.6. I do have somehow 50% burn resistance, which is pretty nice. Now for the slots, for the mods, I am at 80% skill haste for both of my mods. For the Seeker Mine, I'm at 3,205 skill power. With the 80% skill haste, drops down my cooldown to 26.1. Health isn't a big player, however, that damage is a huge player. 1.43 million damage. Now for PvP, yeah, it does drop down, but that's still not factoring in the explosive damage, the bleed damage, and what have you. Pretty nasty. Now for my other slot, I have the turret, 3,037 skill power, with that 80% skill haste, and I have again a 26.1 cooldown. Now the duration is 5 minutes, so I can take my time with my mortars. And then the damage, of course, 495, but in PvP, it drops it down to 223. And then remember, that is not including the bleed or the explosive damage. And there you have it, guys and gals. This is my one-hit skills build. If they don't quite get one hit, or if they roll out of it, just use the Eagle, use the M1A, what have you. They will barely have any life left. They'll probably be rushing to go throw on a med kit. So just run at them, hit them maybe once, and then they're dead. That's it. And if you infuse your gloves, it's just game over. But alright, let me know in the comments section below how you guys like it, and if you enjoyed the clips. Shout out to the DoD, like always. I am Kamikazevondoom. Don't forget, hit that like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.